These days, we like anime that are self-aware. What I mean by this is we have lots of anime that play into common tropes, but they don't acknowledge that, and thus are really stale. They're not intentionally cliche, they're just awful. I would say isekai is the most guilty of this, but for other genres, this also holds true. In this video, I'm going to talk about one of the few anime that's not like that. Instead, I'm talking about a show that parodies a lot of shoujo tropes and anime tropes in general. As you would have seen from the title, and probably the reason why you clicked on this video, I'm going to be reviewing Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun. Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun is an anime about a mangaka called Nozaki, who's a regular high school student, and a girl named Chiyo, who finds out that he's a mangaka. Nozaki asks Chiyo to be an assistant for his manga, and so we get an anime that explores their relationship. There are also a few other characters from the school who help as assistants, so if you wanted to watch an anime about high school students making a manga together, this is it. Before I ramble about the show itself, I'll introduce you to the main characters. First, we have Chiyo, a lead girl. She's sweet, charming, and has a lot of energy. She's constantly baffled by how stupid everything and everyone is around her, causing her to react in a lot of weird ways. She's one of the nicest and most genuine characters I've ever seen, and there's not a whole lot of bad things to say about her. She also looks suspiciously like another more well-known anime character, but the personalities are completely opposite. Next, we have our titular character, Nozaki. As I said before, he's a high school student and mangaka. And for some reason, he lives alone despite being a teenager, which there's a lot of anime like that. I don't know why. There's not a lot to say about him. I just can't think of anything. Uh, Mikoshiba, or Mikarin, as Chio calls him, he tries to play it cool, but also has social anxiety and takes a while to get used to people. He's always trying to use his charisma to pick up girls, and sometimes has crowds of them following him. He's also one of Nozaki's manga assistants, drawing special effects. The weirdest character in the show, Kashima. Some girl who acts like a guy and is the so-called prince of the school. She's kinda like Mikarin in that she's always flirting with girls and has a big ego, but she isn't shy like he is. She's also part of the school's drama club, which is a whole other can of worms I don't want to open in this video. Next character is a grade above most of the other characters, a guy named Hori. He's kinda head of the drama club and another assistant of Nozaki's, working on backgrounds. He's always telling off Kashima for misbehaving, and I mean always. Next, my least favorite character, not that she's bad or anything, I just don't like her, is a girl named Seo. She's a friend of Chio, but has a bit of an ego like a few characters in the show. Also, she can sing. She scares a lot of people, and there's the whole ego thing, so a lot of the characters just don't want to be around her. Wakamatsu, he kinda has a crush on Seo, but also has a crush on this girl from the choir club who has a nice singing voice. Our only problem is, he doesn't know who that girl is. He's also a grade below everyone else, and of course, he's an assistant of Nozaki's, working on erasing. So now that that's all out of the way, let's delve into what the show itself is like. So the show starts with Chio making an attempt to confess her love to Nozaki, but instead he ends up giving her his signature, which I think is the biggest insult you can possibly get. This misunderstanding sets us up for what the show is like right away. The center of most jokes is some sort of misunderstanding or some character being ignorant to something. I'd be cringing so hard at these jokes while laughing my ass off at the same time. It's probably the second anime to really make me laugh almost every episode. Like, I actually sat there in my room like an idiot, and other times I'd have to bite my tongue to stop myself. I think the reason I found it so funny is because the clever use of irony. Being a member of Gen Z, irony goes pretty well. The show itself gets right to the point. There's no bullshit, no filler, no wasted time. But it's also not too fast paced. This is what perfect pacing looks like. And honestly, I didn't expect it at all. It's rare that you get something as perfectly paced as this. I can't say there's any character that I hate in this show, which is really good because there's normally always someone that I hate. I mean, there's Sayo, but she's fine. That being said, I do kind of have some issues with Nozaki. In terms of his character, he's very blunt and serious and kind of dull, at least compared to the energy every other character brings. He's kind of like the balance between all of the craziness of the other characters, which can be funny at times, but other times it really just ruins the scenes. The show has a lot of unlikely romance in it, which Nozaki uses as inspiration for his manga. He'll go around creating all sorts of social experiments to see what happens in certain situations to add to his manga, and they are kind of crazy at times. The show certainly does a good job at exploring all of these relationships and making them interesting, but trying to keep up with all of them and their individual subplots is a little much, and it's never able to delve deep. into it with its limited number of episodes, and the odds of a season 2 doesn't look favorable. So I know for sure I'll read the manga when I can get my hands on it. In my opinion, Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun can't really be considered a romance anime, because it just doesn't get far enough into all these little relationships. It only ever just teases us. I just want to quickly note that the animation feels pretty good. It felt like I was watching a show from 2019, and whenever I remembered it was from 2014, I was thinking, no, that can't be right. Now, I don't know anything about shoujo, which might influence my opinion on this show. I'm not sure if shoujo fans have different opinions on this. The show's making me want to check out shoujo now, and I'm looking into manga that I might want to read at some point. My only other exposure to shoujo was a certain 20-year-old OVA, and I can't say I enjoyed it that much, so I'm hoping to find some better ones. So with all of that, my final rating for Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun would be an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed the series, probably more than I should have, considering it's not like any other show that I would watch. If you have time for it, I'd recommend adding this to your watch list, though it's not urgent or anything like that. I haven't really written a conclusion in my script, so I don't know what to say at the end of the video. Join the Discord server. It's really dead. There's like 5 people in it, and no one's talked for months. Probably because I haven't like uploaded recently to like push the server. But yeah, join the Discord server. It's cool. I'm sure if more people joined, we'd actually start talking again.